Easy.
All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone, to Blame Your Brother, episode 244. We are back, just the two of us tonight after last week's awesome appearance by Georgia English. That was a fun time. Great performances, great album. So if you missed that episode, go back, check it out. She performed 3 songs off her new album, Power and Pain, which I've been listening to quite a bit. I love it. I think it's going to be one of the best albums of the year so far. Unless the Beatles come back from the dead and make 5 albums, she's going to make the top 5 this year. So, and I don't think the Beatles are coming back from the dead. So, who knows? And this year, who knows?
Who knows?
So anyways, yes, we are Blame Your Brother. We are streaming tonight on Wednesday because tomorrow we have a big show we're going to, Counting Crows in Franklin. We are excited about that. So we said we can't cheat the people out of a show. So we're doing the show tonight. We may not have as many people show up, but podcast is still dropped. So that's good to know. Yes, we are Blame Your Brother. I'm one half of that duo. I am David, aka D Brew, voice of the people, Glenn Jackson, Mr. 40%, the spiritual midget, Mr. Wonderful, and this gentleman sitting over here to the left, it is my friend John.
Everybody, John here, a.k.a. Tico, Mr. Jones, Mr. PTI, the madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman.
They do have a madman.
Okay, he's a madman.
All right, there we go. So that's us. So we're going to go ahead and just get started. We have many things to discuss. We didn't talk about too much last week. We did talk about you went on vacation, so that was good. So I know a lot of things are happening this week. I just want to start off and give a big shout out to what I did this weekend. I went to the Rock and Pod Expo, which was a fantastic event ran by Chris Sinzak, who's part of the Decibel Geek podcast. And he started this convention 4 years ago. And it was kind of crazy back then that to see it grow, like the amount it's grown in 4 years. It started off as kind of a convention for podcasts.
Yeah.
That like rock and roll, and he had some rock and roll guests come in, and the guests continued to amaze me. Met my friends from Cobras and Fire Podcast. I got there immediately and went and talked to those guys for a bit, did a bit for their show, and I always like seeing, like I've only seen Baco, I would say he's the mic one, kind of like me, the main host. I've met him twice, and then LC is his, co-host, and that's the first time I ever met him. But it was fantastic meeting those guys. It was fun talking to them. And then I got to live out a dream. I saw some great performances. Pamela DeBar's there, if you know who that is. She's like, I guess a groupie from the 70s, but she was influential in a lot of music. She put on a really good panel. I saw one of the guys from Adam Carolla Podcasting, Dawson, was there, so I got to check it out. But I finally got to meet one of my musical heroes. Matt Pinfield was there.
Oh, wow.
If people know who Matt Pinfield is.
MTV fame.
MTV 120 Minutes.
I don't think I can name anyone that knows more about music than him.
When I used to watch Matt Pinfield 120 Minutes, which was one of my favorite shows on the TV. It was all the alternative things, like all the things I was looking for at that point in my life. This guy would come on. He knew so much. I went, I've got to start learning as much as this guy. Now, I will never know as much as him, but I want to know as much as him. So I would watch that. That's where I learned a lot of bands that I listened to today from that show. He was there, and so he's there. He gets there kind of late, later than other guests. He on time for him, and so I'm waiting, and then somebody approaches him. They start talking to him. Then another person, I'm just sitting back going, oh no, I'm not even going to get to meet this guy. This sucks, man. This is like, I just want to tell him, like, man, you were, big. I mean, I would love to have like an hour-long conversation with him, but I realized this was not going to happen because he was part of a panel. And he just happened to be taking a picture with like a bunch of people. And the guy goes, everybody get in the picture. So I jumped in. And as he turned around, I was like, Matt, I just want to let you know that I'm a huge fan. You influenced my life musically quite a bit. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. That's so awesome. That's a bad impersonation of him because he's got this very gravelly, distinct, awesome voice. He's like, thank you so much, brother. That's really cool. And I was like, oh my God, I'm shaking Matt Pinfield's hand. It was like quite a moment.
He does have like his voice sounds like a pro wrestler.
Yes, I love it. I mean, I like I said, this guy was, as far as MTV VJs go, number one. Like, we're doing Mount Rushmore of VJs. He's my number one. There's some other great ones as well, but he was like the big one.
When I first saw him, he was doing a metal show.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really into metal, and I thought he was just a metalhead.
Right.
But in later years, when I've seen him on other things, I'm like, no, this guy knows music through
He
and
does.
through.
He loves metal. He loves alternative. I think he loves everything,
And just like little side stories and little things that he knows, I'm like,
it's crazy.
how do you know that?
So after I met him, I went home and I was like, wait a minute, this dude's got to have a book or something. So I went on social media and there it is. He's got a book. So I ordered the book yesterday. I can't wait to get it and read. I'm sure it's got some great stories in it, but that's what I did. So I just want a big shout out. I mean, next year, Rockin' Pod Expo 5 is going to be amazing. If you are in Nashville, you should come check it out. It's usually around August. And what Chris has done, it's really a testament. We have other friends. Adam and JP did one convention one time and they said, that's it. We're done. We're never doing this again. So just the commitment to do it and succeed. I mean, there were so many people there. There was like a radio station there broadcasting. There's people dressed up as the demon walking around. So it was really fantastic. That was great. So that was like the big thing I did this weekend. And I ended up going to the Williamson County Fair, which I always like doing as well. But that was, Rockin' Pod Expo. I was glad I got to be part of that. So what's going on with you? So I want to tell you a story also. So last week, it was crazy when guests are in here. We're scrambling, right? You're not really thinking the same like thoughts you had when you're walking in the door. So you come in and you tell us last week you got in this car wreck. And this is weird, man. I wanted to tell you this last week. I forgot until literally I was driving home. Like I was pulling out of the driveway. Should I text him? Nah, I'd just tell him next week. So you said in the accident, you hurt your left hand, right?
Yeah.
Dude. When was this accident? Was it Monday?
Yeah.
You can ask my wife, my kids, you can ask anybody. Monday afternoon, my wrist, my arm started hurting. I swear to God, dude, I wish I was lying. It's still hurting today. I don't know if your arm's still hurting today.
It's quite, the only time it hurts now is if, and it's still
swollen a bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it's not nearly as bad as it was. If anything, like God, if I put it under warm water, it feels like it's burning.
Oh God!
But if I don't do that, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's still like it's my wrist. I think it's carpal tunnel. I was playing basketball with the boys and I was dunking on like a 8-foot goal. I think it was going a little bit hard, and I type all day, and so I had an arm splint on it for like a few days, and then I thought, oh my God, that is weird, man. Like, so. I said to you that. So everything good from after the wreck. You still got the rental.
Yeah.
What's going on with it?
We still haven't. I got an email late yesterday from the other guy's insurance. They want me to give them a call, but I haven't had a chance to call them yet.
That's good.
They haven't given us a number as far as what they're going to give us as far as the car at least. I still want to go back to the doctor.
As you should.
I want to go to my PCP because, if you go to the emergency room, they don't know you, and if you need certain medications,
right,
they might not give it to you just because they don't know you.
Correct.
So that's why I want to go to my PCP and figure out, because my back is still hurting.
Dude, you got to take care of that. That's some serious stuff.
And so, but I was planning on going yesterday, but yesterday is the first day of school for my son, and he's starting kindergarten, so it was just a half day.
Right.
And then between that and working at night and everything, I didn't have an opportunity to go.
Yeah, I understand.
So.
We definitely want to get into school. I want to hear about, that's kindergarten's always an important, phase for kids. And then once you tell that story, we have got to get into what the hell is happening in Williamson County, because John, it's insane. Like, while you're telling the story, I'm going to pull up a clip or two, and I want to play it on the show. And you're honestly not going to believe this, dude. Like, this is insanity. Like, what's going on out there. But anyway, that's a tease. And also tonight, in honor of school being back, school's back forever, we're going to do the Mount Rushmore of school subjects. Okay, so we're going to give our best. Who's going first?
I don't even remember.
Well, it doesn't probably
we'll
matter.
have to figure it out. You know what my first is going to be.
I have a definitive
I pretty
one.
much know which one you're
So yeah, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. So Davidson County has a mask mandate for children. Now, so does that apply to kindergartners, I'm assuming, or?
I don't know.
Did your son wear a mask?
We have him wear a mask.
Okay. All right. So how did the school day go? Was it painless? Was it painful?
I mean, it was. The location of my son's school is just off of Murfreesboro Road, which is a very busy road.
Yeah, very busy. Yeah.
And my wife dropped him off in the morning, and that was no easy task. But I go to pick him up, and I've got Emily in the back seat, and that's my daughter. She's only 2, and I'm driving my wife's car because I don't want to fool with moving the car seats in. And in all honesty, I don't even know if those car seats are safe anymore.
That's true. I never thought about that, but yeah, I mean,
and we just haven't had a chance to go back out to the store and get some new ones. But in my wife's car, the air doesn't work. So, I mean, I got her a cup of ice water and hope that was going to be enough. But he's supposed to get out. Yesterday and today were half days, so he's supposed to get out at 11:30. So I get to school at like 11:25. The first day we didn't leave the school until like 12:20. So that was ridiculous, and yeah, it was a mess. When we got up close, they're like, "Okay, you're Asher's dad." They like knew.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
So I mean, that was good. He went to pre-K at the same school, so that's pretty much why they knew who we were, and Asher's a minor celebrity at any school he goes to.
That's good.
Today, and the thing is only kindergarten had first day, half a day.
Yeah, that's
today, and so it still took 25 minutes.
Now, but normally he's going to be riding the bus.
We were thinking about. We don't think he's quite ready for the big bus yet.
Okay.
Just because he can be kind of an airhead and kind of daydream, and everybody be off that bus, he'll still be sitting there waiting.
Oh, man.
And so, we want him to ride the small bus until we feel more confident.
Okay. Well, nothing wrong with that.
And just getting that set up is just like pulling teeth. So.
But he's liking it. I mean.
Yeah, he likes the school. I mean,
good.
Some of the same kids are in his class, and
that's good. That helps. Yeah, it's always, man, dropping off that first kid at kindergarten was rough, for our son, Jake. That's been, now what, he's 13, so 8 years ago, and it's funny how kids can be so different. Like, he was crying and he didn't, and it was like, it's tough. Like, I cried a little bit, Then when Nick was dropped off, he's just like, peace, I'm out, like get out of here, parents. I don't want you here, So it's having a daughter that's going to be there soon. I don't even want to think about it. I told my wife, I'm not going to be allowed to go.
I know she's very attached to you. So,
yeah. I mean, so I'm like,
you'll never be able to get out of the building.
I'm like, yeah, you may just have to drop her off and call, I don't know. But anyway, what's good, it's also, because you think about, your children are with these people, like all day, half a day, whatever. That's a lot of faith that we put into the system, which I have faith in the teachers, still, even though there's stories of occasional bad teachers. The majority of them are good and they're trying to do well. And I guess that kind of, unless you have any more lights to shed, that kind of sheds the light on Williamson County schools. Now, you're in Davidson County, which is the Nashville area. I'm in Williamson County. You might be there soon. Or Murray County, whatever. So Williamson County is, if people don't know, it's not like the wealthiest county in the world, but there are more upper class families in Williamson County than Davidson County.
I'd probably say almost than any other county in Tennessee.
Yeah, it's safe to say. Maybe like Germantown, maybe out in like the Memphis area. Germantown's pretty money, but yes, it is definitely one of the top ones. And you would think with education, this is stupid, I'm saying this, but you would think with education, with money would come more educated individuals about how science works, how society works. So I asked earlier about Davidson County schools because earlier in the year, Williamson County decided they were not going to have a mask mandate. They just said we shouldn't have to do it. I mean, that's a topic for another day. I disagree with it, but still. So they had a meeting last night of the parents. I'm going to play right now for you. This is Clay Travis. Now, if people don't know who Clay Travis is is he was formerly a sports talk radio guy, right? And he's somehow turned into a right-wing pundit. He took over for Rush Limbaugh. So when Rush Limbaugh passed away, they said, what are we going to do about this? We need more people. And Clay Travis and some other guy named Buck something took over for. Anyways, this is Clay Travis speaking at the. They let parents come up and speak about it. So this is Clay Travis and his infinite wisdom about mask. Here we go. I hope it's on.
Here's the truth. Our kids under 25-year-old, 1 in a million chance that they are going to die of COVID. They are more likely to be struck by lightning. They are more likely to be struck by lightning. They are more likely to die of the seasonal flu. Have any of you ever mandated masks for the seasonal flu? Well, shame on you, because every kid in Williamson County Schools has been under more danger from the seasonal flu every year than they are for COVID. I would tell every parent here, don't let your kids wear masks.
All right, so that okay, I don't know what your thoughts are about that, but first off, this was the tone of the meeting. This was an anti-mask group, okay? Now, I would think if you get up there to speak, you're supposed to be speaking not as a coach trying to get the crowd on your side. You're supposed to be giving your personal story about why I think there's whether I disagree with anti-mask, but I think there's at least we can sit down at a table and have a civilized discussion about it. This was the attitude of the whole night. Now, do you want to touch on his facts here?
I mean, the facts are, if you could call them facts. I mean,
true, yes.
I mean, and the thing is the setup of the way. The reason why more people die from the seasonal flu is because we never wore masks during the seasonal flu.
That's true. That is a good point as well. Yes, that's a good point as well.
And the percentage of people taking vaccines for the seasonal flu, far less than the ones that have already taken it for COVID.
Right.
And so those numbers are already skewed. The biggest thing I don't get is, okay, say you just don't believe in a mandate.
You're about to say what I'm going to say. Go ahead, yes.
Why does that automatically make you have to be anti-masks? Why did he say don't let your kids wear masks?
Refuse is what he said. Refuse. He said don't let your kids wear the mask. Refuse, man. Think about this, dude. This is insanity. So that was the meeting, and a dude got tossed out for getting too unruly. These people were looking at these elected school representatives on the board and going, we know where you live. We're coming for you. I'm like, whoa, that's a threat, man.
Whoa.
Like, I don't care. And the guy goes, oh, I didn't mean physically. I mean, we're coming for you politically. I don't know. So what I'm going to play next, John, is after the meeting when one of the elected officials tried to leave, you got to go home, man. So here we go. This is the scene. Now, to set the scene for the listeners, this is a huge crowd of people outside, okay? There's police officers here. They don't seem to be really doing anything. And this guy here is trying to leave.
We are here for everybody's safety. We are here for y'all just as much as we're here for everybody else.
Yes.
Okay? We are here. We are away from our
This
families.
is the officer talking.
Some of us is on a 17, almost an 18-hour day, and that's me. So I'm here.
Thank you, the thin blue line. Thank you. Yay. All right. So these people are the worst, man. Okay. Because they're missing the entire point of what the man is saying. He's not saying get buck wild. He's saying everyone chill out, man. Okay. So anyways. All right. So let's get to this guy here.
not going to give the news what they want. We're going to do that the way people can actually do this, exercise their constitutional rights, and show the people in power here how flimsy that power really is.
Come on. Yes.
We are the people. They are not.
We the people. Okay, we're going to get to the guy here. Okay, here we go. All right, so here's the guy leaving. Here we go. Will not comply. Will not comply. This is ridiculous. So child abusers. They're yelling child abusers at these school representatives for wearing a mask.
And everybody's taking notes, buddy. Keep that little smug. Yeah.
I want to see your face so I can see what you look like, bro. I mean, so this guy's trying to get in his car and leave, and they're blocking him 100%. Oh, it does not end there. Now, what are the police officers doing at this point? Because I don't see them around, and they know this is a volatile situation, obviously. He's in his car now. They're hitting his car.
We know who you are. We know who you are.
Keep it calm.
No more masks.
Keep it calm. Keep it calm.
This is my favorite guy.
We're on these guys' side. They're on our side.
No, they're not. They're not on our side.
The police are on our side. The police are on our side. Let's calm down.
Yes.
Calm down. We know who you are. We know who you are.
That is my favorite clip of the year. So if I'm setting up for people at home, there's one guy in a black shirt. He's like, yeah, we were going to get you. And this guy, this bald guy, he's wearing a pink shirt, like a blue
denim looking
jacket, shirt type thing. I love he goes, all right, stay calm. They're on our side. And then right after that, he goes up to the guy and goes, we know where you are. Like, dude, this is crazy. So then we let this dude leave. Now, they're right up on his car. Would you be worried at this point? Honestly, would you be concerned?
Yes, very much so.
I mean, there's hundreds of people here, dude. I mean, this isn't like 5 people. They blocking his car.
You will never be allowed in public again. You will never be allowed. You never let him be allowed in public again.
Hey, sir. I know who you are. Let him out. Let's let him out.
They still won't let him leave, dude. You better watch out. That's a threat to me, dude. I mean,
yeah, it is.
So anyway, so that's pretty much, they're pretty much from there. I mean, dude, this is crazy. This is a mob mentality, man. Like I can't even wrap my head around it at this point. Like I don't understand what's happening, man. Like, are people losing their freaking minds? Like, it's a mask. I don't even understand. Even if you're against it, I just say this: just claim religious exemption and be done with it. Like, that's all you have to do. Just claim religious exemption. You're done. You don't have to wear it. Whether my kid wears a mask, your kid, his kid, that kid, what is this? Resist what?
Yeah.
John, help me. I can't understand it. My brain's not comprehending it. I don't get it.
I mean, you got me, bro.
Who the hell are these people? I mean, they think really their liberty is being usurped away for wearing a mask. Like, it's insane. And your point is right. Like, yeah, more kids wore masks. I guess the death rate would be lower, It's just, it's turned into this, it's a political issue. That's all it is.
And I really don't get it. I mean, for someone who, the fundamentals of being right wing is me. But there's all these things.
I wouldn't say you're right wing, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. The principles of conservatism, right? Yeah.
All these things are being heaped on there that I really, really don't agree with.
Well, I thought the big thing of conservatism was less government, less. Well, I guess they're saying no rules should apply to us unless we want those rules to be applied. Like none of these people have a problem with seatbelts. I don't see.
I mean, it's the same thing to me. I really don't see a very big difference between seatbelts.
Where is their problem with the seatbelts? Yeah. Where's their problem with the childhood vaccinations that are required that none of them are talking about? All of your kids in the school, you understand you had childhood vaccinations. You had to get to come to the school.
Yeah.
Are they protesting that? Trump, what he's done is, and I think this was the most terrible thing about, and he's done a lot of bad things, but I think the one thing he did is people saw him treat the media, people around him, the press, everyone they saw the way he treated people, like the way they're acting right now, and they think this is the way it's supposed to be. This is not. You should never act like that to another person unless serious things are going down. You know, like if someone's trying to hurt you or hurt your family, I understand that. It's time to fight, you know.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a civil discussion about the mask. And the joke is, at the end of all this, the mask passed for elementary school kids. So it's going to be in Williamson County regardless. So all of this, you know, boasting and beating out your chest, it did absolutely nothing. It just showed you these people are assholes, and that's what they are. And, you know, and one woman was up there talking on the board, and she was being very polite, and she's like, you know, I really didn't sign up for this. She's like, yo, you did sign up for this. I'm like, no, I don't think she did sign up for this. Like, no, I mean, so it's insane, man. So that's what's happening in Williamson County. Like Clay Travis and all his goon squad are out here harassing these people, blocking them in, telling them, you know, they said they were emailing some of the people, kind of veiled threats and things. One guy gets up there, the 8th Cavalry is going to come for you, man. I was like, what is he? I had to look up what the 8th Cavalry was. It's some military thing, I guess. Hell, it could be the Klan. I don't know what the hell it is. Anyway, point is, that's what's happening in Williamson County. And I mean, it's been mentioned on, you know, national news. It's not like it's a local story anymore. It is all over the place. And this is just, COVID's going up. We're having to wear masks back at work again, mandate it. California now has passed it where teachers have to get vaccinated, or I guess you submit to a weekly test. I guess other companies, a buddy I work with was telling me that I think maybe it was Google.
I mean, you have to be tested for TB to be a teacher.
Yeah.
So,
why not? I think somebody, Google or somebody basically said, okay, if you're not vaccinated, you're not coming to work. You can work from home, but you can't come to work. And they said like 3 employees showed up and they weren't vaccinated. I said, you're fired. Man, we told you guys, you're fired. And I think at this point, they're going to just make it mandatory to get the vaccination. I mean, hey, if the childhood vaccinations are mandatory, once this gets approved through FDA, that's what all the, you know, the holdouts, oh, it's not approved. Can you tell me when those vaccines you got your kids were approved? Can you tell me information about them? You couldn't tell me. You couldn't even tell me what all your kids have been vaccinated for. It's just this issue of freedom, you know. So I really hate it. I just hate it, man. I just wear a mask. It's like I say, it's not. Yeah, if they're asking you to get a vial of blood and bring it to them every day, I would be, yeah, that's too far, you know, but like, this is just something simple. I don't know. So it's saying here, Williamson County had the first case of COVID in Tennessee last year. I think if this continues, the schools are going to get shut down because apparently they worked something out where they can't do remote learning this year. So I guess it'll just be asynchronous where you just do it on your own, but that's even worse than remote learning because then teachers aren't even involved. And Robin says there are other state officials that now want to fine education board members. They force kids to wear masks. And you can hear these in that video. If you go watch it, it's on our Twitter, twitter.com/BYBpod. They're being like, you're forcing these kids to breathe in germs, man. I'm like, what? I don't know, man. It just really.
Isn't that what the mask is preventing?
I know. So it bums me out. But that's that's Williamson County. Also, just want to talk about, if you think we have it bad here in America, I mean, and things are kind of crazy right now, but this is a story I had to read you real quick out of India. This is like this made me really, I had to read.
Once India hit it hard, they have not recovered.
Well, listen to this. 8-year-old boy is youngest person charged with blasphemy in Pakistan. An 8-year-old Hindu boy has become the youngest person ever to be charged with blasphemy in Pakistan after he intentionally urinated in the library of an Islamic religious school. The boy is now being held in protective custody and his family is in hiding. The child, who was not named, allegedly urinated on a carpet in the library of a madrasa where religious books are kept. A blasphemy charge in the deepest religious country can carry the death penalty. So I sometimes you have to really, as dumb as the Williamson County people are that were there, I always try to look at the bright side. At least we're not there. Not yet. I mean, we're not, really honestly, I don't know that we're a couple steps probably away from that, but wow. I mean, that's an 8-year-old kid whose family is gone. Like, the kid's in protect. Can you even put yourself in that situation? You can't,
no,
right?
Can't.
I mean, you can't. I mean, why did he pee on the books? The same reason, I guess, John's nephew peed on the carpet, because he wanted to, right? I mean, that's the reason at the end of the day. Do you think this 8-year-old boy was really blaspheming against your religious books? I mean, I don't know. I don't know the kid, but that seems...
There has to be some kind of like level of accountability that kind of goes with certain things.
Right.
And so, yeah.
That's crazy. So I just want to, as bad as that is, we're not there. So, yeah, like I said, California will require teachers, and you will see this. This will start to happen across the country more. Now, Tennessee, it may be one of the last ones. Who knows? But that's kind of where we're at with that. So, so you did tell me, we sent a text out today that you did watch The Suicide Squad, right?
I did.
Okay. So I watched The Suicide Squad. Let's give a little mini review of it. So The Suicide Squad. Okay. So it's not Suicide Squad. It's the Suicide Squad. And I mean, there is a pretty big difference in it, to be fair. So, all right. So let's talk about who's in the movie. We have Idris Elba as, Bloodsport. We have obviously Margot Robbie coming back as Harley Quinn. John Cena is the Peacemaker, and then we have like a few other people. But those are the big, I would say, the big 3 stars of the movie. Directed by James Gunn. It is a sequel in some sense of the word. I mean, I would say that people I saw a couple comments. Do I need to have seen the first one? And I'm like, no, not really. No, you don't need to. I mean, if you want to, that's cool. But okay, so it's like you said, it's R-rated. Okay, so that's a little bit different. So I'll let you just start. What are your initial thoughts when you watched it, Suicide Squad? I mean, highs, the lows.
It's obviously the tone is clear, and it's fluid throughout the whole thing.
Right.
It's basically an action comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obvious no matter what time you tune in, at any second it's going to fall under that category.
Right. Yes.
There's a lot of over the topness, but it works in favor of the way it's going.
I agree.
Got a shout out to Sylvester Stallone doing the voice for King Shark.
I did not know that. That's hilarious.
Very, very fun character.
Probably, I mean, yeah, the standout of the movie, I would say. I mean, it definitely is King Shark, right? I mean, he is the Groot of the. Okay, so here's the problem, and here's not the problem. This is Guardians of the Galaxy 2.0. I mean, this is. I mean, come on, guy, you've got. I mean, it's a little bit different, obviously, but there are tropes here that still fit in it. I mean, you have this, Groot type character. You have the leader who kind of gets into his sake. You have a strong female character. Then you have another female character that I don't know who she. But my point is, if you watch James Gunn movie, it's all there, and I love it. I mean, I think he should direct more of these movies. Now, obviously, it was great. John Cena was fantastic. I thought he was. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, John Cena was kind of thought of dead before really Fast and Furious, and then this movie. Like he did a bunch of dud movies, like kid-friendly, I don't even know what they were called, man, like stupid rom-com family types. So one was a tree firefighter or something. But this is the John Cena we want to see. This is R-rated John Cena dropping F-bombs. I mean, the first time I heard him do it, I was like, whoa, okay, well, here we go. So, all right, so you love King Shark, Idris Elba. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he really carried the role really good. Like I said, John Cena. I mean, obviously, Margot is Harley Quinn.
She was the only good thing about the first movie.
Right, yeah.
Will Smith is all right, but...
forgettable, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Joel Kinnaman as Flag. I love him as well, too. I just love that actor.
I didn't think he was accurate to comic book Flag.
Okay.
But I like the change.
Okay. I don't know much about Suicide Squad comic book.
The comic book Flag is actually a lot more like Peacemaker was in the show.
I got you. Okay, so what was there anything that failed for you? Was there anything that you were just like, I don't know?
I mean, there are some characters I'd like to see more of, just because.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's just say this. No spoilers, but it's Suicide Squad, and some people don't make it through the entire movie. Now, I did like Polka Dot Man, who's in the movie quite a bit, and the twist on him was very funny. You know, I don't want to give too much away.
Reminded me of a friend.
That is true. I didn't think about that, but man, the music was great.
The music. I forget. Yeah, James Gunn again strikes again.
I would say this about Zack Snyder. People may dislike Snyder, and I don't hate Snyder. I do want to say that. I think when he is operating his greatness, his music montages to start movies are out of this world. I mean, Watchmen, the beginning of that one. I watched Army of the Dead. The beginning of Army of the Dead, the movie's all right. I mean, people have panned it. I'm like, it's a zombie movie, dude, where people kill zombies. I mean, get over it. But the opening montage of Army of the Dead is one of the best things I've ever seen. The way he sets the music, the way it falls in perfectly with the action. It's got a crescendo. It's fantastic.
Maybe he should direct music videos.
Well, I've said I want him to direct a montage of my life, bro. You can do whatever you want with it. You pick any song. It would seem like my life was freaking epic. But James Gunn as well. I mean, the music, you think of Baby Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's one of the best scenes to me ever of an opening movie. I mean, it's so good.
Well, even the first one with
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord dancing around.
Yeah, it's good too. But Baby Groot was like, I was like, nothing's ever going to beat this. This is the best. Like I can literally just watch the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 over and over again because I think it's so awesome. So, you know, I hope there's another one of these. They've, obviously the door's open for it. You know, that's good. And I mean, obviously the end is very open for it without giving it away. Did you watch to the end of the credits?
Yeah.
Okay. So
there's a HBO series based on a certain character.
Oh, really? Oh, coming out. Oh, I did not know that. Okay. So I would tell people this. Did you watch Black Widow?
I have not watched Black Widow yet.
Black Widow was really good. I really dug it, but man, Suicide Squad was much better. So if I'm ranking it, we'll rank it 1 to 5. I mean, I'm giving this a 4 easily. I mean, I don't want to give it a 5 because I think 5 to me is reserved for, if we just on superhero level, I would say Dark Knight is a 5.
Yeah.
So that's really unfair because, you know, you can get, I think Guardians of the Galaxy 1's probably a 4.5. You know what, mate? I really like this movie a lot. So I think I'm going to get a 4. I'm good with a 4. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. What about you?
Same.
Okay.
Same. I'll give that. That's a fair.
I just can't knock it. I can't find anything to knock. I mean, maybe Harley Quinn's story was a little bit in the middle, was a little bit you know, I don't, what was the need for it, I guess?
I mean, there's certain characters that you have to highlight. And,
that's why, right? But
yeah, and then
but if that's not Margot, that scene's not in the movie, probably, right?
If it wasn't her, yeah. I mean, they kind of, and it still worked. It still fit.
Yeah.
When they tried to do the same thing with Mystique, because of Jennifer Lawrence, it did not
work. Right. Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. I mean, Margot is she's just amazing, dude. I mean, like an all-time actress. I mean, she's just, you know, she's doing great. But yeah, this is some A-listers. Definitely, if you're out there, go grab it on HBO Max or however you can go watch it in the theater. I would love to see it in theater, but that's not an option. So yeah, big thumbs up. Now you watched What If? I have not watched it yet. When did this come out? Like this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Quick thing. Good, bad, ugly.
The first episode was What If Peggy Carter became
Captain America.
And there's a lot of scenes that almost shot for shot are kind of equal.
Okay.
It's done in animation and
computer animation though,
yeah.
Right?
And it
not a fan of that.
It almost kind of gave me like an old timey feel.
Okay.
It felt like I was watching something in the 20s.
Okay, I got.
Or in the 40s, and so it just and so I mean, I think a lot of that series is going to be like that. So I mean, I think you're going to have to take it. It's not going to be your favorite. It's not. I don't think it's going to be anybody's favorite, but it's going to be something that the diehard fans are really going to want to watch.
Well, I'm going to go watch it tonight. I'm very excited to watch it. I mean, you know, Marvel's batting 1,000, so I'm going to keep trusting them. Now, the next movie, I don't know if it's going to be good. What is it called? Chun-Lin?
Oh yeah, Shaolin.
Whatever.
Shang-Chi.
I don't know, John. Are you excited about this movie at all?
Not really.
Okay.
they're supposed to bring the true Mandalorian out. I mean, not Mandalorian.
The Mandarin.
Mandarin.
Really?
Okay. And the story of the 10 Rings. And
if no one's a comic book, they're just like, what are you guys talking about?
If they could link that to Iron Man and make it work,
yeah.
Then that'd be cool. But I don't think they're.
We'll see. I'm going to continue not to doubt them until they make me doubt them. So I'm going to watch that when it comes out. But
they've earned our trust,
yes,
definitely for sure.
Okay, well there we go. We got through a lot there. So I think it's time now to get into the Mount Rushmore of school subjects. So it doesn't really, like you said, I don't think it really matters. If you grab my one, I'm grabbing your one. So that's why I told my kids before, like, I know what his number one is. If he grabs mine, which he knows what it is, we're going to have some problems. So I'm going to let you go first, John. But before we get to that, lunch is not a subject, right?
No, it's not. Obviously,
my kids were like, lunch. I'm like, that's not a subject.
Not a subject.
I mean, you could argue. I mean, some people's subject.
It's something you have to get graded on.
Right. Okay. And so high school was for us years and years ago. I'm sure there's new classes. They do STEM now and robotics and digital music and all kind of cool stuff. But I'm just going on what I had, the classes I was able to take at the time. And so we're going to get started. This is the Mount Rushmore of school subjects, school classes. Okay, John, I'm going to let you go first. What?
Of course, it's music.
Of course, I knew it was. All right, so tell people about your core. I was telling my family about it. I mean, I've told them before, but I said his choice would be chorus. He was in a group called the Sophisticats. Now, what are the Sophisticats,
The
Josh?
Sophisticats is a show choir / chamber music singers.
Where did you get where's the name derivative of? Why is it Sophisticats?
It's
I know I get the sophistication. I understand. Well, why cats?
Cats was in the 1920s. It was a phrase for someone who was hip in music. Like if you would go to a musician would be called a cat. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, hey, play that one again, cat.
Okay, I got you.
And so that's kind of where it came from. And
okay.
We did a lot of period pieces from really old songs, like from the 20s up into new stuff. And almost everything in between. We did some stuff from musicals. We did songs from Boys to Men. So, I mean,
I don't know that I ever saw you perform in Sophisticats now that I think about it. I don't think I ever did. Pretty sure I did not.
You did once.
When?
At your graduation.
Oh, really? Oh, well, that shows how much I remember that. So, there you go. What'd you do at graduation?
We sang 3 pieces. 2 of them I remember right away. One was called An Irish Blessing, and another one was called God Be With You Till We Meet Again.
All right, well, that was good, I guess. I don't remember much of my graduation, honestly. Like 0, really. I remember we went to some party after. Were you with me? Or there's no way I was by myself. There is 0.
You went to a party at my graduation with me.
Maybe that was it.
I think that's what you're talking about.
Huh, okay. Well, I guess I didn't do anything for my graduation. Okay. All right, well, my number one, I mean, come on, guys. There's one, how were your grades in hundreds all the way through?
Perfect all the way through, yeah.
Well, this subject, I'm very proud to say that I never got below 100 in. The coach at one point said, boy, if I had more like you, this would be a good class, all right? That would be PE, which is my favorite class, and my favorite story to tell PE is, you're like, oh, how do you not get a perfect score in PE? Okay, number one, you had to dress every day. Okay, so if you forgot your clothes, 5 points off. All right. There was one day, I'm going to try to make this long story short. My parents did not trust me at the time to have a combination lock. I'm serious. I had a key lock. Okay, I don't know why. They just would not let me have a combination lock my freshman year. It makes no sense. I don't really understand it. So one day,
I never knew that about you.
Oh yeah, it's weird. I forgot my key at the house because I mean I'm someone who forgets things. Usually I can now as an adult I can just go back to the house and go, oh, I forgot this, whatever. Back then I couldn't. I was in school. I couldn't get to my shorts, I had my backpack, but my shorts were in my locker. So I went to my friend. I'm like, dude, I need to borrow your shorts. Mark Sass was the kid's name. Mark Sass was a little bit taller than me and skinnier than me. It's hard to believe. I was skinny in high school, but he was skinnier than me.
I remember Mark.
These shorts were the tightest, highest shorts you've ever seen in your life. They might as well have been painted on, but I went, I'm not losing points in PE. I don't care. Yeah. And I remember that PE day. I remember those shorts, but I remember getting 100. And we had an exam, and the exam was like all sports questions. Back then, I was a sports fanatic, so ACE exam, PE, always looked forward to it. It was always fun. Almost got into fights a couple of times, but I love sports. I love playing them, and man, it was just. I should have been. I look back at my life, and really, I should have been a PE teacher. Honestly, I mean, I feel like I missed a calling. I've got that personality with kids. I love PE. PE teachers are always kind of like crazy and loud and goofy, so I'm like, I missed my calling. I think I would have been a great PE teacher. So that's my number one, PE. All right, John, number 2.
Number 2, I would go with. Now the class was called.
Oh, here we go.
It was called journalism, but it was basically yearbook staff.
Okay, so we'll just say journalism. That's fine. I did not take that one, but what I wish I would have. What did you like about the journalism?
I mean, you'd already graduated when I was in this class, so my next best friend in the world was in the class with me.
Right.
I mean, we put together the yearbook, and like, basically, I mean, me and Kenny, we basically did most of the work.
Right.
Even for stuff that we weren't even supposed to do. But
who signs up for this class? Is this like popular kids, nerds, or what? I mean,
probably the dorkiest 2 people in the class were probably me and Kenny.
So the rest were kind of cool kids.
Cool kids and a couple of slackers.
Were they doing it just to pad their resume? I mean,
I think some of them might have been.
Okay. Because I'm like, what is the point here? I mean, if they didn't want to do the work, I would have loved to have done the work. I mean, I probably would have put a bunch of inside jokes in there. I would have tried to kind of slide them in. You know me.
We did.
Okay. I mean, that's us. I mean,
there was a few. We also had some other assignments because obviously you finish the yearbook, God forbid, before March.
I hope so. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to be ready by the end of the year. And so after that point, you go to some sports events, you do other things at the school, and you write up what you saw, what you did.
Okay.
You actually do some journalism, and that part was kind of cool.
Yeah, I really wish they would have had more opportunities like that. At the time, I would love to write back then, but there wasn't much in that way. There wasn't like, I think today there's probably more opportunities, but yeah. Okay, that's a good one, journalism. All right, now number 2, I'm just going to grab one that I loved, English. Okay, yeah. I say I love to write, and English is a tough one because you're either reading or you're writing, right? But
I think you should specify English either 3 or 4, because English 1 and 2, freshman and sophomore English was like.
Well, it's just a subject, John. I don't have to pick the specific.
Well, I'm just saying.
You're mad because I grabbed English and you wanted it.
No, but I know why you picked it, and this is I want to justify it. Because in English freshman and sophomore year, it was like 60 or 70% grammar.
Not mine. I was in English honors.
Oh well.
See, English honors, we hit the ground running, dude. So I had Miss Finney was one of my teachers that I looked back.
It was your sophomore teacher.
Yeah, and she did not like a lot of people, but she liked me because I like to write and I like to read. And so a lot of the people in the class did not write or read. And so and she encouraged us to write poetry. She encouraged us to write short stories, to get up and perform these things. I was very shy back then. And she was just as much as people hated her, I absolutely loved her. I will pick in time. English 2 was my favorite class. And then English 3 was great. I forget what was the teacher? She was a black lady. She was also Miss Pittman. Yes. She was fantastic as well. I mean, I had all these teachers that were just very nurturing, like, oh, yeah, good, right. So I loved it. So, yeah, English is my pick for my number 2. All right, number 3.
I'm going to go with number 3. I'm going to say government.
That's good.
We had, and I think it was the teacher mostly that made it.
Who'd you have?
Mr. McMacken.
Okay, well, he taught 2 classes, so... I mean,
I had him for government.
Yeah, well, I may pick the other one in just a second.
Okay.
But if you don't know what it is, I may hold on to the 4th pick. So
I know what it is, but I had a different teacher for that one.
Okay, I got you. Okay. So government. Fun class.
It was a fun class. Even me being, the vice president of the Young Republicans Club while I was in this class, and him being a hardcore Democrat, it was still a great class.
Right.
I learned a lot, and it was entertaining and informational. So I mean,
right. Yeah, he was really good at the give and take. I mean, he would really engage with you. Like I said, there were some teachers that were just read from the book. He would literally, you could have debates for 20 minutes with him about just the world and the government run. I love that, man.
And what's funny is like he told me, he's like, look, when I was your age, I was all about Republicans, but you know, the world taught me otherwise. So
it's funny.
You'll be the same way.
So he's me. All right, awesome.
Yeah.
The government. All right, good pick. All right, number 3. I'm gonna go with something that sounds very boring, but it really spoke to me. And I see someone in the chat said they loved world history and Greek mythology. Well, I loved, because of Greek mythology, I loved Latin. I took Latin 1, Latin 2, and I absolutely just loved it. It expanded your vocabulary because, you know, a lot of the words are based in Latin. And we were translating the Iliad, the Odyssey, Greek stories, and that just really spoke to me. I mean, when you're a geek and you love comic books and you got to kind of hide that in your high school, this is the next best thing. You know, these are comic books.
The original comic books.
The original comics. We're translating it. And once again, the teacher Miss Gilmore was fantastic. I mean, she was just the teacher does influence like a lot of how you look at, right? I mean, because you can have a bad teacher in a subject you love and you'll hate it for the rest of your life. But I just loved Latin. I did not want to take it at the time, truthfully, because I was like, Latin, what is this? But then I got in, I went, no, this is good. And
I always wondered what your driving force for Latin was.
My parents said I had to take it, and and once I got in, I go, actually, I kind of like this class. And, you know, it was good. I mean, and you really worked your brain. I mean, because it was, you didn't speak it because, you know, really didn't speak Latin, but you did, you know, you translate it and read it out loud and all that, and I thought it was fantastic. So, yeah, Latin's my number 3 favorite subject from high school.
Yeah, I took French, but I took French because I thought there would be more girls in the class.
Was not.
I mean, it was about that, but I mean, still.
Remember, because I was in honors classes.
I'm still a loser, so
yeah,
I mean.
of course, you know, so. Okay, your last pick, John. We're down to number 4. John I thought you'd like math, man. I don't see it making a list up here.
I like math, but I didn't like it. I didn't like taking it.
Interesting. Interesting. Bad teachers.
Yeah.
Bad teachers. And to be fair, we just come up with this list literally before I drove over here. So this is all like off the cuff.
This is off the cuff. Do these have to be high school classes?
No, they do not. I said high school, but they do not. They can be grade school. I mean, you could pick anything. I mean,
when I was in middle school, there was a class called technology.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah,
this class was really cool. Name an aspect of technology.
Yeah,
and I mean the teacher was like you close your eyes and picture a nerd. That's the teacher.
Oh boy.
But they had everything. They had there was a recording studio in this class, research and design, robotics, printing.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. When you're that age too, that is like some of the coolest stuff you can do.
Engineering, small engines, hydraulics and pneumatics. I mean, drafting, everything, and
kind of like STEM it sounds like today for the kids.
And they had like these different. You'd spend 2 weeks. And he called them modules.
Okay.
And you would learn everything you could about that specific aspect of technology.
Nice.
Then you'd take a test at the end of that 2 weeks, and then you'd move on to another one. But on some of them, like in research and design, you built a race car.
Nice. Okay.
And at the end of the semester, they would race all the race cars. And engineering, you would build a bridge using small pieces of wood or toothpicks or whatever, and they would test the strength of your bridge.
Okay.
At the end of this 6-week semester, and so I really liked that class because I've always liked science, but I didn't like book science. I like the applied science.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
And to be able to see science work the way he made it work, I was just blown away. And the technology.
We go. Not bad. All right, I've come down to my last one. I got 2 choices, but I'm gonna. I always said sometimes a bad teacher can make you hate something, but I think if you really love something, even a bad teacher can't make you dislike it. And something that I guess I didn't realize at the time just because of the way I was brought up, but I absolutely loved art. I did love art. I loved it. Art was a tale of two years. I took art 1 and I took art 2. And I was pretty good at art 1. I was doing some techniques and things like that, and the teacher liked me. And in the second year, she hated me. And that's the first year ever I got kicked out of class. I got in-school suspension for one day because I was talking too much, which is absurd. Everyone laughed at that in my other classes because I never talked. But I loved art. We would apply the different, we do a self-portrait. We do this. We'd sculpt. We do this. We do that. And I just like, man, I love art. Like, I love art. Like, so yeah, art is my last one because I feel it's so opening for the mind, I just love things that open your mind up to seeing things a different way, like twist, a different way. Okay, so I'm going to go over our 4. So John had chorus, journalism, government, technology. I had PE, English, Latin, and art. Now, one I did not take that I wish I had taken was at Hillsborough High School, we had a recording studio, and I regret never taking that. We also had auto, and I regret not taking auto mechanic as well. I really regret not taking it. I just knew the people that were in that class, and to this day I still don't want to be in the class with them. Yeah, that's true. But I wish I had that knowledge that they had. Like, I'm always envious of like mechanics. I'm like, man, that must be so nice just to. And I always forget. I took a computer class in 4th grade, and it was very influential. And I took word processing in 9th grade, which taught me how to type. Like, because typing back then, people, younger people listening, where everyone knows how to type. No one was typing back then, dude. No one. And so I could type like in the 9th grade, fast. So those were influential. But yeah, my Mount Rushmore, man, PE never scored under 100, got 100 on health, which was the offshoot. So yeah, it was fantastic. So that is our Mount Rushmore of school subjects. Let us know what your favorite school subjects were. We would love to hear all of you, and we'll put that up on social media this week. And we'd love to hear all your comments and things. So yeah, I guess we're almost to the end of the show. What tomorrow, as we go to the Counting Crows, what song must you hear for it to be the perfect
I know they're not going to play it because it wasn't a radio hit.
Right.
But, Annie Begins is my favorite.
It's his favorite song.
None. But, as far as songs that were played on the radio.
Right. What are you looking forward to?
Murder of One.
Okay. And Adam Duritz, No Dreadlocks. That's going to be... I've never seen him without. On
TV.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of him, but that's going to be interesting. But they always put on a great show. I think it's always a good time. So I can't wait. I'm hoping to hear Miami, but if I don't, I've heard it before. I'm just ready to be there. Like, I'm ready to get back into a live music scene, and just hoping that everyone there is being safe, man. Is everyone there going to be vaccinated? Of course not. But you've seen in Nashville, most of the clubs we used to play, the 5 Spot, the Basement, they're all requiring any people that come in have to be vaccinated or a negative COVID test within 48 hours. That's one way to implement change with vaccinations as well. Start to shut people off and go, if you want to come in here, get the vaccination, or you don't come. So we'll see how it goes. And I also want to say that we are now on TikTok. And if Lee, I know he's listening, I want to apologize to Lee. He brought up TikTok a while back, and we goofed on him. Years ago. We goofed, I guess when it was a different thing, right? It was different. Well, I'm on it now, and I kind of like it. It is a time waster. It's kind of, it's just draining your brain of any potential energy. But that being said, I do like it. I'm posting content on there. So if you want to follow us on TikTok, it's Blame Your Brother. I occasionally put stuff up. But yeah, it's just nice to... Shane Morris is the reason I signed up for it. And then when I was watching his videos, I was like, I want to do this too. And then, so there we go. So we're on TikTok now, kids, all that good stuff. So yeah, but other than that, that's it, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed the show. Hope you learned a thing or two. And, we have a website, and it never works when I want it to. But it's bybpod.com. That is bybpod.com. If you go there, you can hit us up on all of our social medias. We're still occasionally active on Twitter, Facebook. We're very active on Instagram. So if you have any of those, we would love for you to check it out with us. And there's the website right there. But yeah, if you go to bybpod.com, you can check out all of the past episodes. Like I said, we've had some great guests on the last few weeks. We had Shane Morris on. We've had Georgia English on. And so if you want to go check those out, they're there. All of our social media links are there as well. So like I said, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's got our YouTube. It's got ways to email us, grab the show, and all that. And of course, the important thing right there is that Amazon affiliate link. So if you're buying anything through Amazon, click on that link and you can find all of that at bybpod.com. Subscribe, tell your friends about the show. That's how we grow. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll be making some appearances on other podcasts. So hopefully that'll kind of get the word rolling. So with all that being said, hope Counting Crows is great tomorrow. And John, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.